Oh, the ever so popular Monster High. Yes, you're here for the title and I'm here to deliver. So, as you guys have seen in the title, there is Cleo, the Nile, and Draculaura. But I have 4 books here. First of all, I have 2 of the Draculaura ones. One is in Danish and Norwegian, and the other one is in French. So, yeah, I don't really know those 2. And the other one is a Swedish and Finnish one for Cleo. And since the Draculaura I will be comparing to came in a pair, I thought why not take the whole pair. So, a Mr. Claude. Claude, don't leave me. Yeah, if you have seen like Black Butler, you will hate that. And yes, here we go. Because first I want to objectively look at the difference between the first generation and the first generation and the third generation. But I also want to give you guys my first reaction on the Draculaura one. Because when it comes to looks, she is one of the most interesting, and I do believe she is one of those I have the most of. I do believe that. I'm not sure. By the way, the live action movie that will come out, they did not go from what the actual Monster High is, you know, like how hard is it to find like an Australian for Laguna, and how is it to find someone from around Egypt for Cleo. And then we have the headmistress, she gets to be dark skinned, but like Claudine, that is like African American, is not that dark skinned. And obviously like Claudine is, from the creator, said themselves that yes, she is gay. So why don't we get to have her as a lesbian in it? Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, but regarding the movie, I will not be watching it, and I will not discuss it because I know I already dislike the whole concept. But yeah, so here we have the Draculaura one. I actually really like it. And I do love that her pet, Count Fabulous, is still Count Fabulous. Though if you look at the first generation versus the second one, like, you do see quite some difference. Oh yeah, the first thing I want to discuss is the phones. As you see here, is just like a simple smartphone. And I do have a Generation 2 and a 1. This is Spectra's number Generation 2. As you can see, it's a bit thicker, and like the screen is much smaller compared to the size of the whole thing, which is fine. And then we have Generation 1. You have to remember that it did come out in 2010. And in 2010, like, around there, it became more usual to have a smartphone, but a lot of people still had like this button phone. And I remember that I had like the biggest thing ever in 2011. It was this big, like this big, yeah, it should be this big of a smartphone. It was the shit. Like, it was this small, and back then it was the most incredible thing to have as small phone as possible. And now it's supposed to have the biggest phone ever. But here we have the phone that you get with the original Cleo Nile. Yeah, as you can see, it is a button phone. So that is the first thing, obviously, except for that her pet, Count Fabulous, went from black to a dark purple. And I won't be open these. I know a lot of people is now like, oh my god, why won't you open it? Well, I want to respect this, and this is not like my old dolls. My old dolls were to play with. This is just like my own personal collector value thing. So I want to have a real like bookshelf before I open them up. But yeah, let's start comparing these two. So this one is obviously not the OG, and neither will Cleo the Nile. This one is actually French, that's why the notebook is in French. But as we can see, first of all, the legs are twice as thick on the new one. The style is quite similar. Makeup is not that different, though the hair is quite different, because you always had these straight bags and now it's quite different. Size-wise, they're quite the same. So yeah, and the reason why I only bought Draculaura and Cleo, because I thought these were the ones that fit the best. Because Claudine here, she does not look like the fashionista that I grew up with. And Laguna, well, she changed her ethnicity, you know, like she went from blue to goddamn pink, so yeah. This one I had to pay over 700 Swedish crowns because, well, Monster High is not a thing here anymore, so this one is actually quite, you know, expensive. I do like it, but I know it's supposed to be a bit more, you know, like realistic wise, you know, with the thicker legs and, you know, thick hips and all that, compared to this quite, I mean, it's still long legs, but these are way thinner. Though I have to say, as a Swedish person, we don't really have naturally like this thick legs, thick thighs, big hips thing. We are more like tall and quite small, which me, who has always grown up being obese, it did put a bit of pressure, and now I just want to be like better, you know. Look a little bit better, but more muscles than just skinniness. So, as a Generation 3, what do I give this? I mean, I was never really into Generation 2. It was mostly the first generation. But I do like this in-between thing we have regarding like the looks. With the legs and stuff. I mean, I have always adored like the model like we have with Monster High, since it is supposed to be fake, it's obviously not real. But I can understand how this is the continuation for the later generations. Though I am disappointed about the heart. Like you can see, it's this tiny, completely black heart. While the real Draculaura has a bit bigger pink heart. And now, Cleo the Nile. So this one I bought first. This one I bought from the American Amazon, the 1st of October. It did arrive like earlier than today, but I wanted to do both of them at the same time. So yeah, I really like this actually. Though her poor little jackal tooth. I don't know how many will be new to this, but here we have her old pet, Hisette. Why does she change her pet? I mean, I have the theory more people like dogs, and that's why they had to change it, like from a fabulous snake to a cute jackal. But in case you didn't know, I'm like super into like the whole Egyptian thing, so obviously Cleo had to be my first one to buy. And I just saw a huge thing that's different compared to the old one. Obviously not the OG one. This is the chemistry lab where you get both Julia and Cleo. As you can see, she has this tiny diamond on her face, which is, no matter what, nothing. So they have taken away that. But otherwise, to start comparing, the height is pretty much the same. The face do not look similar. Like, you would guess these were supposed to be like sisters. But that is fine. Like, it is a new generation, you know. Also why I picked this one, the color scheme works quite well with each other. Obviously the new generation has so much longer hair. And it's mainly blue in the new one instead of black. I don't really know how to feel about that. But yeah, the makeup not that different, honestly. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say objectively. Yeah, I usually keep it down, you know, looks a little bit more sane. So now, when I have just discussed the objective things, I will go into my thoughts. First, I will take a review on the old dolls that I have in front of me. And since I did say it was a couple thing, here we have Claude and his girlfriend Draculaura. I do love this style of them. This is my favorite style for them both. Claude just by himself, not that much, but like the whole modern yet old classy feeling of this whole thing, love it. Shoes. Yeah. So Claude, not that much to say since I only have one other with him. And that other one is Sweet 1600. But yeah, I love Draculaura in this outfit. And Cleo, well, I do like the outfit, obviously. You know, like, oh. Though you can't really see much of her earring. It always hides behind the hair, but that's fine. So this is a more science. Make her feel a little bit more mature than like the half childishness she can have going on sometimes. And with this one, well, with a kit with both Claude and Draculaura, you get his dog. I do like it, you know, a bulldog. I don't think you should really like care too much about like pit bulls and stuff. I mean, they do have a bad reputation even though they weren't made to be like bad dogs. You know, all dogs are good dogs in the end. It's just bad owners. Count Fabulous. Well, honestly, he does look better in the new version. This one looks very tame compared to it. Not as cute, but it's also like a... it is a bat, so they're not supposed to be all that adorable. And this has always been my favorite, you know? She just looks so majestic, so fancy. Fancy snancy. So... well... okay, fair enough. I wasn't that objective when it came to this, but... I don't really have much to say. Okay, she does have a ring, that's interesting. Her pet is, as you saw before, way bigger. Monster must-haves. SPF 500 and cherry juice. Well, let's check that, shall we? I mean, yeah, I can't really read Danish that much, but you know. Yeah, it doesn't say like anything about the SPF 500. Though actually with the French one I did translate a note in it. This note. Because then you have like the actual book here. And it was note to self. When loading for a midnight snack, do not open that side of the fridge. So, yeah, obviously she's trying to be vegetarian. Maybe even vegan. I mean, I don't really know what she eats. Short thing. Goddamn love it. I'm a sucker for Egyptian thing. Well, things. So, love it. Hate that I won't actually open it up because 10 out of 10. Ideas I have are to make a video with all the journals and all the pets I have. And if you guys want to see that, please do comment it and or like this video. I know this was very like bad video, but I do hope it does give some points into the differences. So yeah, you know, like we have a bit of different eye color on Cleo and no diamond and stuff, but I can see this being the third generation. Like, you have to remember it is a second generation between these two. But yeah, guys, peace.